Please listen carefully.
Hello, universe. Welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Summers McKay.
And I'm Kristy Jansen, and we're part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to help make it one focused on solutions.
7 days a week, 4 seasons a year, 12 months a year. We publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And also, we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, walk-worthy, home office-worthy, spring-forward-fly-worthy podcast. Today is Monday, the 15th of March, 2021.
Ides of March, Summers. It's the Ides of March.
Yep. Yesterday was Pi Day. Now it's the Ides of March.
Yep.
I'm tired and somewhat confused, relatively disorganized, still wearing pajama pants, but I did manage to change my shirt. That's my Monday so far.
That's what happens when you change the times. It's very confusing for our bodies and our minds.
So in California, we did vote to say no more time change, right? And I was confirming this morning that, in fact, yes, we voted no more time change. So I don't understand why we sprung forward. But
we did. And I wouldn't mind it if we were always in daylight savings time. I like this. I like it when it stays light longer and it's dark early. I don't mind that. I don't mind waking up in the dark. That's my personal preference. So yeah. I don't want to go back.
Exactly.
I don't want to fall back.
Yeah. I don't really mind which one we pick, right? Because really it's kind of a net zero, right? Like no matter which one we pick, it doesn't change how much light there is during the day, right? It doesn't actually change the number of hours with which the sun is shining, right? And so
I know.
It just, anyway, I don't mind either. I'm just really tired of all this switcheroo situation. And my husband and I were talking last night, it literally feels like 2 weeks ago that we fell back.
The experience of time passing during this quarantine, the extended lockdowns, this whole weird, bizarro world we are now living, the experience of time is very slippery. I mean, I'm losing track of weeks passing. And suddenly we're in March. And it's been in a full year of this, more than a year now.
Right.
Since when our office closed, since when we all decided to make our homes our personal palaces, if we could, when we haven't been seeing our elderly parents or grandparents regularly anymore.
Well, and it was a year ago that we actually made the decision to pull Brennan out of school and to hunker down we could see my parents, right?
Learning pods and all of these things. So it's been a strange year. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just been a strange year. And to put daylight savings time on top of that, I'm so mad about it.
It just seems mean. It seems generally mean. Yeah. Well, the world is not mean, but time is mean. And then I feel like we're getting very astrophysics, nuclear, Newtonian, whatever. Time is fake. Nothing's real. But you know what's real, Kristy? You know what's real? The Optimist Daily.
The Optimist Daily is
Optimist Daily. And making solutions the news.
Yes.
And finding positive solutions. So I was explaining to somebody kind of the elevator pitch on the Optimist Daily, right? And I was practicing my own personal elevator pitch. On Friday, I was walking with the baby and I was trying to get her to go to sleep. And, a chatty woman on the other side of the sidewalk, we were in the park, right? She was socially distant, but she was like, oh, what do you do for a living? And I was kind of like, please stop talking to me. I want the baby to sleep. I don't want to be your friend right now. But anyway, you could tell she was starved for human conversation. And I very quickly said, oh, I'm the CEO of the Optimist Daily. We're a news media organization focused on positive journalism and solutions-based stories that help make the world a better place. And it came out and I was like, dang, that's good. We do good stuff at the Optimist Daily.
Can you text that to me? Can you text that over to me? I like it.
A part of why I did this on the show is now it's recorded, so you and I can come back to it, right? And we can remember that. But I think at the Optimist Daily, and this morning I was meeting with the tech team, and we were identifying ways of improving the search engine optimization for our site so people can find our stories. And one of the things we forget to say over and over at the Optimist Daily is that we are a news organization. We tell the news. We just do it differently. Mm-hmm. And we are real because we are real news and real stories and real solutions. And this morning when you and I talked, even though I'm mad at time, I am delighted to be in partnership with you and the whole team at the Optimist Daily because we make real news into solutions. And today,
so can I talk about my headline?
I was going to say, today, tell me your solution, because it's an interesting one, and it is a pressing question.
It's a real
that
news
we
story
all have
that is more important to many people than many other things. As we found out a year ago, the headline reads, "Which toilet paper is the most eco-friendly, bamboo or recycled?"
Yep.
Yes, we're talking about toilet paper, because it was about a year ago today that we went to the grocery stores to stock up for our extended stays at home and realized that there was a run on toilet paper and the shelves were bare, and we were all freaking out about how we would wipe ourselves.
Right. And I remember, I mean, I'm sure we all do, but I got very aggressive. I figured that people were going to, like, if people bought out toilet paper, they were also going to buy out baby wipes. And so they did. I got relatively aggressive. I was like shorting the market on baby wipes, basically.
The rationing began, and it still may be in place for certain paper goods. And then, the staples were short behind that, but
yeast. I mean, you couldn't find yeast. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to
toilet paper
debate.
Yes.
Tell us the answer, Kristy.
Well, they're talking about how we clean ourselves. And remember, this is a very cultural thing. In years in the past, they did not use toilet paper. I spent time in India where toilet paper, yes, it's kind of the bougie middle class use it, but most people in India do not have toilet paper as one of the things that they feel like they have to buy. They use other methods to clean themselves. In Europe, the bidet is very common and popular. It became more so here in the United States in the first few months of last year in the spring and summer quarters. I remember people were buying bidets all over the place, right? Because that's another option. But for most of us, we're very committed to wiping ourselves with soft paper, which is a disaster when you think about it and when you make traditional toilet paper, because the environmental impact of destroying forests to produce single-use paper products like toilet paper is kind of iffy if you want to have a small environmental footprint, right? So more and more people are switching to sustainable brands, sustainable alternatives. Some are going for the bidet, but many people are looking at recycled toilet paper or bamboo toilet paper. And so this article is asking the question, which is better? If you're not ready for, ditching it altogether, you still got to use something soft to wipe your bum. What are you going to use? Toilet paper made out of bamboo, which is a fast growing plant. It's amazing how quickly it can grow. And you can make sustainable, biodegradable. It also decomposes at a much faster rate than regular or recycled toilet paper. It has a much smaller footprint than destroying forests, old growth forests. The problem is that bamboo is largely imported from Asia, and often old forests will be clear cut, hardwood forests, to make room for bamboo plantations because it's a more lucrative. You can get a crop more quickly. You cut it down and you grow more. It's sort of this great sustainable cash crop, but there's some problem there. So if you do decide to buy bamboo products, look for Forest Stewardship Council logo, which helps ensure that toilet paper you're getting is coming from responsibly managed forests that provide environmental, social, and economic benefits to the people who operate those forests, right? And so that's the bamboo side. The recycled toilet paper, what that is it's toilet paper which is made using less water and less energy than your traditional toilet paper, and also less air and water pollution. Because it's not manufactured directly from timber, it's using paper, which is already in paper form, recycled paper, and recombining that and reprocessing it to make toilet paper. So many brands will say they're recycled when they're only partially recycled paper. So just be aware of that. And are you really getting a fully 100% recycled paper? Or are they mixing some of that in?
Right.
The problem with this kind of toilet paper is that to create the newly reformed paper out of the old paper, the desk paper, whatever they were using before. They use some different toxic materials, and BPA, the bisphenol A, is a toxin which can disrupt reproductive systems of aquatic wildlife when it's flushed. And that has been detected in recycled toilet paper, partly because that goes into the paper making process.
Right.
So that's the if there. So which is better? On the balance, bamboo is certainly healthier for your skin. It's also usually a lot softer than recycled toilet paper. On the other hand, because of the issues with deforestation and long distance travel, right now the NDRC is saying that recycled toilet paper has a slightly lower environmental impact.
So I see an economic opportunity here, right? I see that there are a lot of potential for maybe bamboo grown in the United States, or bamboo grown, like we need to get into regional toilet paper.
Regionally sourced biodegradable toilet paper or bidets.
Exactly. Or bidets, exactly. Or bidets. This is a great article because I think what it does is it shows that there isn't just one solution, and that you can't just slap a label that says like bamboo or recycled and not also have downstream issues and other concerns to pay attention to. And I think that, while it's funny to talk about toilet paper and, it's fascinating to think about the supply chain, what it does show us is that you really, like with motor vehicles, electric vehicles, with all of these different potential solutions, is that you have to think about it every step of the way.
Right. The life cycle and how does it decompose in the environment, or
in the environment?
How can you reclaim it and reuse it? I don't think we want to reuse toilet paper.
Probably not, but that probably might be the last step. But anyway, so speaking of decomposing and speaking of impact on
cleaning
other
our
systems,
environment, right?
Right. There's a headline that I chose today, sort of a shout out to one of my favorite places in California that I will miss dearly as I move myself and my family to Texas this week. But the headline reads, Santa Catalina Island is using underwater Roombas to clean up toxic waste, in the environment section of the Optimist Daily. Now, Santa Catalina Island, known more colloquially here just as Catalina, was shocked recently to learn from an LA Times investigation that their shores were actually contaminated with poison from the nation's largest DDT manufacturer, who had dumped barrels of chemical along the coast for almost 40 years. DDT is pretty sturdy. It doesn't go away very quickly, and Catalina realized that they needed to get to work on it. Well, a research team from Scripps Institution of Oceanography set off this week to deploy these underwater tools, which are basically small devices equipped with sonar and crawl along the floor collecting ocean samples. So the devices themselves aren't actually vacuuming anything up. They're offering data back about the extent and location of the chemical pollution so that the researchers can then go in and come up with an adequate cleanup plan. I love the idea of underwater Roombas, mostly because everyone who listens to the Optimist Daily Update knows that I have a very intense relationship of love with my Roomba, who yells at me in Portuguese.
My question for the Scripps team is, do their Roombas speak Portuguese?
Exactly. Do their Roombas speak Portuguese and say, "Carga Roomba," very aggressively? But what I also loved about this story, because like toilet paper, the way that a brand can simply become a ubiquitous name, Roomba, right, is like Kleenex, in the sense that you say Roomba and everybody knows what a Roomba is. And you say Kleenex and you think tissue.
Let's be consistent, though. It's like, so Roomba is like Charmin.
Exactly. Roomba is like Charmin or Kleenex or Q-tip or, anyway, we're kind of having fun this morning on the Optimist Daily Update, mostly because Kristy and I are totally spring forward bleary.
The Mondays.
Exactly. It's the Mondays. But there are some other great headlines on the Optimist Daily. We've got Philadelphia is dimming its lights to help save migrating birds. There are guilt-free 5 ethical and eco-friendly chocolate brands, which I will definitely be indulging in. A skyscraper in Taipei features a carbon-absorbing vertical forest. And Chicago's suburb is slated to implement the country's first reparations program. What else, Kristy, do we have?
Well, there's an article that just really spotlights how time outdoors has helped boost teens' mental health during the pandemic. This is a good reminder for all of us. Getting outside really has a huge lift to our moods. Lego is ditching its plastic bags to reach its sustainability goals. Another great company that's inspirational. If you're ready for getting back out there and dating, there's the Backyard Bistro, which is a safe and sexy replacement for the date night. This is a new idea that's come out of the pandemic times, which maybe we can keep going, like a new picnic. NASA is building quiet plane wings to help reduce noise pollution at airports. That's good for the people and for the birds. And that is it for today's Optimist Daily. We hope you go and check out those stories and more. And thank you so much for listening to the Optimist Daily Update. We promise to keep sharing these positive, solution-based news stories with ideas on how you can participate in this changing world and help ensure it is changed for the good. And we promise to keep covering current events with accuracy, legitimate sources, and offering you the information you need most to chart new paths for everybody.
Everybody, please consider becoming an emissary on the optimistdaily.com, and for just $5 a month, or $15 or $50 if you're feeling very generous, help support reader-funded independent journalism. Be part of the solution, changing consciousness and addressing our world's biggest challenges with a problem-solving mindset. Let's keep the Optimist Daily free to all who need it, supported by those who care.